Hello everybody, it's Rose Thorn. So I've got one last video to do tonight. So I just posted a tarot reading that I did on Foodie Beauty and also on Foodie Beauty and Koki. Did a tarot reading for her separately and then the two of them together. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. And someone in the comments was asking for me to do a tarot reading for Peetz. Since Peetz is unfortunately caught in the middle of all that mess, and so people were asking, how about do a tarot card reading for Peetz? So I just did a couple of videos related to Foodie, and I've got enough energy to do one more tarot card reading before I just pack it in for the night. Losing my voice, so it sounds a little bit hoarse. But I'm going to try to give you guys one last tarot reading for the night, so then you can enjoy on my channel. So the tarot card reading that I do in this video has to do with Peetz and what's going on with him and what's going to happen with him. So I cleaned my cards using some incense, cleaned all the energy off, and now I'm going to shuffle the cards. I'm doing this tarot card reading for entertainment purposes only. I just want everyone to know that. So the cards were cleaned off after the last reading. So now I'm just going to shuffle. I know that a lot of people have some questions about what's going to happen to Peetz. Koki is around more than he's ever been, and his influence over Chantal is becoming stronger and stronger. So what does that mean for Peetz and his future? Does that mean that at some point he's going to have to get away from Chantal? He's going to be separated from Chantal? Is she going to ditch him? Because she has talked about that a lot in her videos. She called him a ball and chain and talked about, oh, you know, it'd be better if we were apart. But then she just keeps going back and forth with Peetz is going to be here, and then she says, oh, I don't want him here. And if Dom is becoming much more of an influence over Chantal, which he certainly is, in the tarot card reading that I did for Chantal, I saw that Dom's influence is becoming actually more extreme and more severe. And Koki is actually going to be pushing her to make more money to satisfy him and his needs. The more she makes, the more he's going to be pushing her to make. So with Koki, it's never going to be, you know, this amount is enough. There's always going to be a sense of, I want more. But Peetz is unfortunately caught in the middle of all of it. And until he gets away from Chantal, that's just going to happen. That's how it's going to be. Because unfortunately, with the readings that I did, Koki isn't going anywhere, at least for a good long while. Chantal is going to hang on to him tightly and do everything she can in her power to keep him next to her. So I wanted to do a reading for Peetz and see what's going on with his future, and if there is a future for Peetz outside of Chantal. So let me just finish shuffling the cards here. And see what they have to say. So, interesting. Let me just lay out the entire set because I want the full story. I don't just want pieces. All right. Let me just back this up so you guys can see better. I wish I had a better table to do this. I need more space because of the spread that I do. So let me just start with the first card that I put down for him. This was ill-dignified. This is the Five of Wands. And there's a lot of issues going on with Peetz. A lot of inner issues. And he's just been struggling to deal with all of them. So this is an outside strife. This is inside strife. You know, he's dealing with a lot of stress. He's basically holding everything in. And he knows that things are becoming more and more unstable where he's at. On top of his depression and whatever thoughts he might be having, whatever worries he might be having, he's essentially fighting with himself. But he's in a place where he really can't fight back. He's put himself in a position where he can't fight back, so he's fighting himself, if that makes any sense. This was actually ill-dignified. So the way that I'm taking this card is right side up. In this reading, if it were right side up, it would, to me, it would seem like, how can I say this? If it were dignified, then it would be Chantal taking care of Peetz. But ill-dignified, I sense that it's taking care less of Peetz. So there's, as far as him being taken care of by Chantal, she is trying to move away from taking care of Peetz, where at one time she was content to spend money on him, buy him food, have him live there. There's a feeling of, you know, she's getting over that. Her sense of wanting him around and being happy to pay the money to have him around, that's really starting to fracture. That's the word that comes to mind, fracture. Everything's fracturing. And she really wants to put the money somewhere else. She's reaching a point where she really doesn't want to take care of Peetz anymore. And so, like, this is her money, but this is not his money. And so, he is just he's always depended on her for comfort, and certainly the last year they've lived together, because of her income, it provided a safe space for him, like a safe little bubble inside of his room with his comics and all that. But his world is being rocked because that bubble is slowly being burst. And he knows it. And he's not happy with the whole Dom situation. And it's not about jealousy, like he wants to be with her. He's sad that, she's moving away from him, but it's more about his own sense of security, financial security, home security, because he really didn't take the time to build that himself, and because he put it all on her, now he's at a complete disadvantage of, if she moves away from me and she's putting the money somewhere else, where does that leave me? I'm essentially left out. I'm essentially left out into the cold. Like, I have nothing. So, next card that is around here. This is also ill-dignified. Right side up, it's somebody who's busy, industrious, making money. Busy with money matters, but ill-dignified. It means that lack of money, lack of opportunity. I know that he is experiencing some credit card debt. So instead of like an abundance of money and opportunity, he's actually got the reverse. Lack of money, lack of opportunity, and all of that is weighing on his mind because he's at a position where his world is getting rocked with her spending time around Dom, and she wants to devote all of her money and her time to Dom, and she's not so eager to take care of him anymore. And they're both adults. She's not his mother. He's not entitled to her money. But he put himself in a position where he got too dependent on her, and now he doesn't have his own means, and here's this other guy coming in, and that's where she wants to put all of her money. There's a feeling from her of, I'm taking care of this guy, and he's a grown man, and he needs to do it himself, and if she's around Dom's not going to be cool with her spending money on Peetz. So there he is. Lack of money, lack of opportunity. No means for himself. This card, which is right side up, I feel this is Chantal taking care of Peetz, taking care of Dom. Like he depends upon that. This card is at the top of the spread, which is appropriate because both Dom and Peetz depend on her, to take care of them. So, like, he's on one side, getting money from her means and getting taken care of, and so is Dom. So, and she's at the top. She put herself at the top of the food chain by creating a system of codependency with both these men. She did it not so much for generosity, but because she likes that feeling of power, of having people that depend on her, because by doing that she can control them better, and she's used Pete's own weaknesses against him, and the fact that she makes more money than he does. He's got a job, but even with having a job, she still makes more money. So he's been benefiting from this extra income that she has on YouTube. And he's become too dependent. Instead of standing up on his own 2 feet, he continues to be on his knees at her feet, just depending on her for his needs, when he should stand up and do for himself. We have the Judgment card here. You know, it's very funny. I was doing a reading earlier in my live stream of Chantal, and there was a card that came up showing children. Is Chantal talking about kids? Is she talking about family with Koki? Because I keep seeing cards with children in them. Something about children. And I'm not really understanding that. I know that she had an operation that would prevent her from getting pregnant, but it's something to do with family. And not just grown family members. We're talking about actual kids. So maybe her and Koki have talked about family or something, or maybe she's fantasizing about family. And that's how serious things are progressing between her and Dom, that, you know, they're having this kind of talk. Page of Swords. Who is this person? I don't think this is Dom. I'm not quite sure who this person is. I don't know if Peetz has a brother or a friend. Page of Swords would be someone, I would say, in their 20s or 30s. Not too terribly old. Somebody close to him. Maybe a friend, a relative. But this is somebody who is close to Peetz, that might be there to give Peetz assistance by advice or money, but this is somebody who's in his corner, or could be in his corner if he reached out to them, to help him through all this crap. I don't know if he's talking to anybody. It's not a woman, it's a man. Someone close to his age. It's somebody close to him that might be there to help assist him with anything if everything goes wrong. So the cards furthest away from the immediate cards, the immediate spread, you got the Hierophant. This card keeps coming up. Oops. Page of Cups. There's a few people around Peetz that could probably help him. Maybe co-workers. I know that he works and all that. There are people that he knows that could help him. I don't see any female figures. They're all guys. This Page of Cups is somebody, he's not maybe a close relative, but someone in his circle, someone that he talks to. This is someone who's in his age group that has a little bit. They're not wealthy, but someone who has means that might be able to help Peetz, give him a hand if things go bad. This worries me. This card is ill-dignified. And so this card is ill-dignified, and this is the card that follows it. So by looking at those two cards, you've got this card right here that it looks like right side up, two people. I'm not quite sure how to interpret this. It could be one of two ways. Either this is Dom and Chantal making things more serious. Okay? Or, since it's ill-dignified, it's reversed. If this were right side up, this could be two people coming together. Ill-dignified, especially followed by this card. The feeling that I'm getting is, honestly, I feel that at some point Chantal is going to ditch Peetz altogether. And then that's when this is going to happen. Like, they're going to say their goodbyes. Like, he's not going to be able to live with her any longer. And he's going to have to go out into the world and do for himself. Not to say that Chantal would completely abandon Peetz, but there's going to come a point where, as far as them living together, that they split ties, and he basically moves away from her. And he's going to have to go out and do his own thing. I don't think the whole thing with him living with her, it's going to be a forever thing. I don't know how long it's going to last. I know they have a few months left on their lease. That might be what Chantal is waiting for before she does anything with Dom. Because she knows how much people like Peetz. And if she left him high and dry, that would not translate very well with the people on her YouTube channel, because they really do like Peetz a lot. But so just to preserve her channel and her image, she's keeping things kosher until the lease runs out, and then she and Dom are going to do their own thing, and then Peetz is going to have to find his own way. So what you got here is Dom is going to be more of an influence. He's not going away anytime soon. He was in the background, but Chantal is bringing him more and more to the foreground with her channel. And she's giving him more and more a place of importance. And in turn, Dom is all too happy to farm her out in whatever way he can to make money. The feeling is, hey, you want to be my girl, then you got to be a good earner. And Peetz is getting shoved more and more into the background with every day. And I think Peetz, on the inside, he knows that. He knows that his time with living with Chantal and just being her bestie and always having access to her, that is rapidly coming to an end. And there's really nothing he can do about it. But to be fair to Chantal, I mean, he's a grown man, and she's not obligated to take care of him for life. At some point, he's got to let go of her. And what greater, stronger catalyst for that than another guy coming in the picture? I mean, she's done it before. She has abandoned Peetz before. Like, she was with Peetz. She left Peetz for Bibi. And when Bibi dumped her, she went back to Peetz. He's always been there for her, and she just has the point of view of he'll always be there for me. So I can abandon him whenever I want and go back whenever I want. But in the case of Dom is always going to be around her as long as she's got money. If she were broke, he wouldn't care about her. But as long as she's making that money, Dom's attitude is, I don't want her spending money on anything but me. So that whole situation with Peetz living there, it's something that he can't change. I mean, his name is on the lease. There's nothing he can say about it right now. But at some point, Dom is going to insist that something happened to get Peetz out of the picture. So I want to do one more card reading on Peetz. On the living situation that he's in right now with Chantal. I'm wondering if Dom is going to move in, or if him being there if there's going to be any strife, like any confrontation or anything, like how that's going to affect Peetz as a person, like how that's going to fly. So I'm going to do one more reading. Hey, you! Can I help you? My cat is being mouthy today. So we're going to do one more for Peetz. So is Peetz going to be happy with Koki if he moves in, or if he stays there for an extended length of time? And is there going to be any confrontations between the two? Because for right now, I've heard that Peetz, he stays in his room when Koki comes over. He's never met Koki, but if Koki's there a lot, at some point they're going to have to meet. They're going to have to say hi to each other, you know. There's only so much avoiding you can do if somebody's in your house all the time. So let's just see what the cards have to say about that. Just taking a look at these. So let me just put these cards like this. The first card that I pulled for Peetz right now, he's going through he's basically mulling over things in his head. Like he doesn't have anywhere to go. He moved in with Chantal, and he never ever figured into the equation that at some point he'd be separated from her. So he's literally sitting in his room saying to himself, where am I supposed to go if I can't be here with her? He never ever figured into the equation that all of a sudden that everything would change so quickly. There's a sense of being lost. There's a sense of like not knowing where to go, not knowing how to cope. And he's dealing with all this quietly. He's not a ranting, raving person, but looking out into the world and being scared of the world, because he's never really ventured far out into the world to explore it, be part of it. He's always been in a very safe bubble, and now the bubble is getting popped, and he's scared. I get a sense from Pete that on the inside he is scared, he is stressed out. It's making him depressed. So that's where he is right now. The card that covers him is this one, Knight of Pentacles. That's Dom. So Peetz is in his room wondering, where am I going to go if all of this implodes? And Dom is right on top of him, saying, hey, I'm here, and I'm controlling the money. And you've got this card right here. This was interesting because this card was upside down. This card keeps coming up, you know, strife. But since it's ill-dignified, this is Peetz not wanting to get into a confrontation. He's avoiding confrontation. So he will never really confront Dom, at least for right now. He's going to avoid it. He's going to, just to keep things going, to keep the peace, he will forever avoid this. Because his situation is so delicate. He's depending on Chantal to keep paying the bills, keep paying the rent. He has nowhere else to go. He will purposely avoid confrontation. So, this is interesting. Queen of Wands. So a woman did pop up in this reading, which I thought was strange, because in the first one there were no women cards, and we've got a few in here. The Queen of Wands. Who is this person? Somebody who's slightly older than he is. This isn't Chantal. This is somebody he knows. Somebody close to him. I don't know who she is. The Hermit. This is solitude. This is reflection. This is perhaps loneliness. I know that he's kind of a hermit type. He's very solitary. And him feeling depressed and stressed out, it's far from over. For as long as Chantal is involved with Dom, he's going to be feeling a lot more loneliness. And it's just going to get worse, because the more that she makes Dom a more prominent figure in her world, the less time she's going to spend with Peetz. Especially if Dom's like, I don't want you spending time with him. I don't want you talking to him. And just to make Dom happy, she won't. She will avoid Peetz. She'll do as little as she possibly can for Peetz. And this is going to lead to a lot of loneliness, because Chantal is Peetz's entire world. You know, it's not just about money. Like, she is his interaction. And she is someone that he's comfortable in talking to, even if she is mean to him. He doesn't have anything else. So without that, he's completely alone. This card is also ill-dignified. So this also points to separation, where he and her once used to hang out and have a good time. Those days are pretty much over. There's already a fracture between them. He can feel that, and he's reacting to it. So he's just left with memories of them hanging out together, doing things together. But the more that Chantal brings Dom into the picture, the more that he's around her, the less interaction he can have with Chantal. And all he's left with all this sadness from the times they used to spend together and the way she used to talk to him. This was also ill-dignified. So right side up, this is someone who has prosperity in front of them. There's more being offered, and they're just in a place where, oh, I've got enough in front of me, but I'm not interested in more, thank you. With ill-dignified, there's lack of opportunity, there's lack of money, there's lack of prosperity in many respects. So he doesn't have anything going on for himself. He's completely empty of things that would make him more prosperous, more productive. He's completely drained and essentially stuck where he's at. He's miserable, but he can't move. Okay, moving on to the other parts of the reading. Page of Pentacles. Who is this? Who is this person? A page is somebody who is a bit younger. This person is productive. They've got a little bit of money. Someone he knows that may have a little bit of means, but it's somebody younger than him that he might be talking to, or at least that he knows. We know that Peetz goes through depression, and he battles a lot of issues. I don't know if this is outside issues or inside issues. But this card to me just speaks of somebody who's battling something. There's a lot of strife going on here. Maybe there might be a brief confrontation between he and Dom, or he and Chantal. So, the Empress card, ill-dignified. This is supposed to be a loving female figure, older, but ill-dignified. I don't think it's on Chantal. Somebody around him. It's not good for him. And what's interesting is that the King of Cups is right next to it. So there are some people around Peetz, and I don't know much about him to know who these people might be. But there is a female figure that's older that really wouldn't be of much help to Peetz. And then there's the King of Cups that would be. So I think Peetz is going to, he's going to be in his own personal private hell for a while with Chantal. But the last reading I just gave to you guys is, there's the time of Peetz living with Chantal, it's not going to be forever. There's already, I'm sure there's been talk about him maybe finding another place at some point. You know, she's not his mother. Dom is in the picture. He's a dominating type person. I don't think that he would be cool with Chantal taking care of Peetz for a long, long time. He's only putting up with it, I'm sure, because Chantal is telling him, hey, his name is on the lease, and without that, I wouldn't have a place to stay. So, you know, Dom is coping with that. But Dom is one of those people that I'm sure he doesn't like the idea of Chantal spending her money on anybody but him. So at some point, he's going to get in her ear and say, hey, you need to cut that out. Because if you cut that out, then there's more money for us. But for right now, things are as they are because there's a lease. And Pete's name is on the lease. She doesn't want to leave him high and dry. If she did, it would be a bad look for her channel. So it's being worked out and it's being tolerated for now. But with a reading that I just did before this one, the whole living situation is going to fracture and Peetz is going to be on his own. And I think that would be a good thing for Peetz to be away from her. I think that may be a good opportunity for him to find himself and just get out from under her and all that toxic energy and all those toxic activities. It may seem like a curse at first, but it's actually a blessing. He might be able to find out who he really is and what he really wants, but it's going to be painful for him because he has gotten way too comfortable with Chantal paying for everything, doing everything, and it's a routine that he really just needs to break out of for his own physical and mental health. He doesn't need to be under her skirts all the time. And I see people in this reading that they're going to be around Peetz. They're going to be out. They're going to reach out to help him. They're going to reach out to maybe assist him if something does happen. So he's not going to be out in the cold, like out on the streets. He knows people. He's got phone numbers. And in a pinch, these people are going to come through and they're going to help him. So no worries about that. I think he and Timbit will be fine. He's got connections somewhere. And he won't be left destitute. He's going to be hurt. His heart's going to be broken. He's going to be upset about it. He's going to miss Chantal. But I don't see him going out onto the streets and be, without any kind of means. He'll recover. He's got a job. He's making money. It'll take him a while to mentally, emotionally recover. But as far as the money, he'll be just fine. So that's my reading for Peetz. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and post it to my YouTube channel. Y'all take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.